Hello, dear viewers. This is Big Performance Podcast. I am Elish, and today we will try to get the blueprint for a marketing agency from the great, pretty Rhiannon Franz.
Thank you, Alex. Nice to be here.
How did you come to be the founder of a marketing agency? Did you get a marketing agency pedigree somewhere?
I did. Good question. I started out on the agency side of this business as an assistant media planner about 20 years ago. I've worked at all the top holding companies, four of the four. So I've worked a lot of different jobs, but I've worked at Publicis, IPG, Dentsu, Cara, people who might go like, I don't even know what that means. But essentially, they're the holding companies for the top advertising agencies across the globe. And I've worked on big brands. I've worked on Johnson and Johnson. I've worked on automotive like Lexus and Kia. And then I've also worked on entertainment brands like Warner Brothers and kind of you name it across the board. I've worked across different categories and I've
How
worked
how,
in
how long ago did you make the switch to running your own thing?
this specific business. I have only been doing for a year. So it's a brand new thing for me to be a founder and a business owner of my own boutique agency. And it's called Revive Marketing because my name is Rhiannon. So it's kind of a play on my name. But yeah, this specific agency, I decided to go out on my own. I've been doing this for so long for big brands that I wanted to be able to help smaller brands and service businesses be able to do marketing.
All right. And what's the main thing of your agency? Because I think that through the career working in different places, you saw the industry, you saw the services from different sides and different aspects. So, what did you choose for your thing?
So interestingly, my background is actually specifically in performance media. So digital media, digital marketing. I also have done a lot of branding in digital, but digital marketing specifically has been my expertise. And having my own business, I've been able to branch off and look more specifically at broader business issues. So, from the brand, from the business perspective, what is the overall goal for the business? And then let's look at what is the performance media, what is the digital media play that's right for your business. I feel like a lot of people we see on Instagram, it's like you need to go pump a bunch of paid media behind, ads, and you need a boost on Twitter and you need a boost on TikTok. But what are you boosting? What is your brand? What are you trying to sell? What is your voice? What is your message? These are all sort of questions that I find become secondary or tertiary to running your ads when actually it should be flipped. So that's a long way to answer that I started out in digital media and now I've worked my way more focusing on businesses and brands.
What I like about how you describe it, I can clearly hear the strategy piece of this uh, puzzle, and
Mhm.
I could almost hear stupid TikToks. So some of the stupid digital gurus out there say just pump your TikToks, pump the thing, and then throw a bunch of money, and you will be rich and successful like me. Yes, this is the background of where we are trying to do our job and to do it right. And you're
Exactly.
saying that to do the job right, you need to first look into the strategy and really find out what works and where you actually drive the value to your audience.
Exactly. Like we were having a discussion a little bit earlier about this kind of idea of the cyborg and this that there's a digital piece and there's a human piece. And I love that analogy that you came up with. And so the digital piece and the human piece have to work together because you have to inform the algorithms to work. If you're not giving it information, it doesn't have enough data to actually optimize or make improvements. And that can then feed back and inform your strategy. But if you're not giving it strategy, you're not giving it information, the tool doesn't know what to learn from. It's kind of like this idea of, oh, AI is going to write your marketing strategy for you. Just just pop it in ChatGPT and it'll tell you what to do. Sure, it'll give you a long list of what to do, but it's only as good as the information you're putting into it, right?
Yeah, the analogy that we are talking about is how I imagine a business as a cyborg that has a human part and a digital part. The human part is how we perform, how it is the part where we have our creativity. And then there is the machine part that stands between you as a human person and other people who are your audience, who are your clients. And it is right there, right beside us on every step of the journey. For example, when a client stops being your client and then returns again, it was not you as a human person that attracted it back with your magnetism or super perfect idea creation. It was some part of the machine that reminded them, hey, we have value, and they
Mhm.
come back.
That's right. I like that. Definitely. That was a great analogy.
So how did you make the decision to go on your own? Because in many times it is more expensive to be a entrepreneur rather than being just in corporate.
100%. I could have been making a lot more money this last year if I had stayed in corporate versus going off on my own, but the idea is the upside is even bigger. So, the way I like to tell this story is growing up in corporate, working in corporate for 20 years, there's sort of this idea or concept that you will work your way to the top. You will eventually get there to the higher paying jobs. The problem is, as you keep working and working and working, there's only a handful of jobs at the top. So while it's like the pyramid, right? But so the bottom, you've got all of these junior people working their way up for five people, five spots at the top. We're not all going to make it to the top. There's certain things that keep happening along the way. And so because we get further and further and further along and there's only so many jobs, that's when things start trimming down and you got to start figuring out what are your next steps. The other thing I like to say is that there's sort of this promise of yes, these bigger jobs. There's also promises of, like, let's say, for example, I worked in sales for 10 years and the goalpost is always being moved on you. So companies don't want to pay their salespeople these commissions that they've promised and told them, you go sell all this stuff, we're going to pay you out all these commissions. It's like they can also just move the goalpost. So 6 months in, a year in, now all of a sudden the goalposts move and you're not being able to make the money that was quote unquote promised. So there's a lot of this like behind the curtain stuff that I did not know. And as I started working and working my way through it, it became very clear. There's only so much that you can do. There's only so much growth that you can happen. And so making an investment in myself and believing that I can do this business, I can actually help people, I can eventually, I see, making even more money down the road than I was able to make in corporate. So it's definitely a challenge. It is definitely not an easy road to get here, but after about a good year of pushing and having a business coach and having, like, these people and support behind me, I know I'm able to the snowball effect is happening and things are starting to roll and the future's much brighter on this side.
Amen to that.
Yes.
How far did you go on the corporate ladder?
I guess my title would have been VP director of digital media.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
VP. All
Yeah.
right. So you started from what kind of position?
Assistant media planner.
Assistant media planner to VP, and
Yeah.
then you thought, well, I am already VP. I will not move the what's the next one?
SVP, EVP.
Oh, correct. So you saw that you already have all the powers. You have the expertise to share with the actual people that may not get this value from you working in corporate because they're
Mhm.
too small, they're not in the right niche, they're not the right audience. You saw, oh, I can serve those people directly and give them the value myself. All right. And how did you get started? Did you start from going to the coaches, finding the support network? How did you started to collect those pieces into an agency?
I would say that I just decided to jump 2 feet in and make this decision because if I back up a little bit further to the time that I made this decision, if through the pandemic, and I call it the great reevaluation, we all had to take a look at our lives. We all had to figure out how to get a job, how to keep a job, how to make it through. I also had a baby during the pandemic, so I had a big change. I found out I was pregnant in February of 2020. So it was right before everything shut down. So through this time, I freelanced. I worked as much as I could, and then there was a time around 2022 when there was, I think it was about 500,000 tech layoffs happened in that Q4 of 2022. I was working 40, 50-hour weeks. I had a little toddler at home. I was doing quote unquote great in corporate. And
Yeah.
with this fear looming over of when was the next cuts? When were the next cuts happening? My husband also was working for Disney at the time, and Disney was threatening 10,000 cuts were supposed to be happening. We never knew when the rug was going to be pulled out. So through that time, I just decided, you know what? Kind of again, there's no more security in corporate. There's no more loyalty, quote unquote, because there never really has been any of employment and taking care of employees. So jumping 2 feet in, being like, I can do this, I will figure it out. Through that process, then I found a business coach who has been able to help me catapult this business further. So my new saying is everyone needs two things. You need a therapist and a business coach. And those are the way to a more mindful, positive future life is having those two
Hmm.
things.
All right. And what was the first thing that you did? Did you have a list of people that already asked you for services, or did you have to go there and like message people?
Yeah, I started from scratch. I would say that over the last or the previous amount of time, I worked a lot in gaming, video games. I did a lot of gaming campaigns and I got really burnt
Uh-huh.
out on that, to be honest. I felt like the industry, and it has through the news been talked about, it was a bit toxic. And there was a lot of the environment just felt a little heavy for me and not something I wanted to continue anymore. So making this decision also to be like, I am not going to go back into gaming. I'm going to try a different avenue. I did think that having my digital performance background, digital media background, that I would be that CPG or packaged goods would be more of a draw with me. And so I had quite a few leads in that area and thought that that was going to be a route that I would go. But what actually evolved is service based brands. I have found that service businesses, for example, law firms, landscaping companies, coaches, therapists, these are the people that have been more drawn to my services. So, as we were talking about earlier, and these people that I can help the small businesses that appreciate the work that I can bring to them. It's actually not only been a good piece for my business, but it gives me a sense of fulfillment because I feel like I'm helping actual people and I'm helping them with their businesses and I'm helping them grow their futures in their lives. So these are people where they've tried to do marketing on their own. They probably have a website. They've, done a couple things and they get so far and then they realize they need to get to that next level. So what does that next level look like? And that's where I can really come in and give them that blueprint. I can look at their business and help evaluate where they've been, what hasn't worked before. To your point about looking at the data and then helping them see what's next and how can I take them forward and to that next level through strategy and this blueprint of what's best for their business.
Cool. All right. Let's look into the cyborg part of your business. Did you start by building your website, or did you start like more naturally from Instagram following or YouTube? What was it for you?
A website, for sure, a website. I feel like the website this today is your new pitch deck. Like, I don't have pitch decks. I don't create custom things for every client. If you want to see what I can do, go to my website. It's a great website, revivemarketing.com. I have my prices on there. I have my packages on there. Everything is there for you to see and how I work. And I love that because it's kind of also skims out people who can't work with me. They go, "Oh, that's not really what I can afford," or "That's not really what I need." And then that's great. More people that are my ideal clients will be able to look at that website and go, "Oh my gosh, this is exactly what I've been looking for." So I feel like for any brand, for a personal brand, for a marketing product, your website is just an easy way to clearly communicate to your audience what it is that you can do for them. And it's sort of that foundational piece. I do agree social media is important. And I do have Instagram and a Facebook and a TikTok, but those are more secondary to me. I feel like the website it also helps as a marketer or as a brander or even just a personal brand figure out what it is you want to say and try to say it as concisely as possible. So it's a really good
Hmm.
exercise in figuring out your positioning and your brand voice and your tone, your colors, your everything that goes into a brand will exist on a website. So if you start with your website and you have that cohesive product to share or show, it sort of sets that first level stage.
What I can say about your website, and I've seen it, and it's awesome. The thing that I noticed that it will filter out from the people who get to this website are the people who are trying to compare you with other service providers,
Mhm.
because your offer is quite unique. You position yourself quite quite separate to anything on the market, and I see a lot of professionalism in that. Uh, yeah, so if you try compare your website to any other service out there, you will fail. So and this is a very big piece that helps you stand out and articulate your actual value.
Thank you so
What
much. I appreciate that.
Sure. What am wondering, how how do you get people to go to your website? And here I would expect socials. I would expect maybe personal outreach. So I understand the website as the tool to articulate your offer, to niche down into what really defines your business, and being able to express it in the format that is limitless in what we can do actually on the website. Yeah, but how do you get people to your website?
That's a great question, and I completely agree with you. I feel like that is the next step. So foundationally, what does your website look like? Making sure that that is clear. And then yes, getting people to your website. So two things I feel like for service type brands is that are super important is one, your personal network, to your point, connections, people that you know. It's sort of this piece that is very hard for us, I think, as humans to reach out to our network and ask them, who do you know that I could possibly help? And that question is very hard to ask. And it took me a long time to be able to ask my network that question. And it seems so easy and so basic. But once I've practiced it and got better and better at it, it's helped me to be able to ask this question. And we should ask each other for help. And we should ask each other, who do you know who might need my services? But for some reason, I think as humans, we feel like we're being too salesy, or we don't want to ask our friends for sales. How come, like, it feels very difficult to do? So, the way that I did this is two things. One, I reached out to every first connection on my LinkedIn. I felt like these are people that are connected to me somehow. I've known them, I've worked with them somehow. I'm going to ask them if they want to get on a connection call with me. And then I sent them a booking link. And I opened up my calendar for Tuesdays and I said, every Tuesday, book me out. I would love to have a connection call with you. For the first 6 months of this year, I did 120 connection calls. So, of those connection calls, those were 30-minute calls. That's a lot of time. But what I learned out of those connection calls is A, I got better at my pitch. I got better at talking about what I do. I refined the way that I speak about things because my network is actually marketing people. So, they gave me great feedback in helping me to get better at what I was talking about. But even then, the connections that I made and reconnecting with people, while they might not have been my sale now, I think that they will remember me down the road and being like, oh, yeah, I remember she does this thing. So, number one is connections. My business coach says if you haven't reached out to 150 of your connections, then you haven't even chipped the iceberg. So, that's a really good benchmark for yourself is 150 outreaches. I did 120 connection calls. So that's kind of taken it to the next level. And then, so connections, your network is so valuable. So use it. These are people who do want to help you and they want to get on connection calls with you. So I think that's first and foremost. And then the second piece that I think is kind of overlooked a lot is email. And it's sort of like, I don't wanna send an email. People don't wanna hear from me in email. You have to write a compelling story. You have to have a story in there that makes people wanna read your emails, and then you do have to sell in it. And so this is hard for people, and it took me a long time to get better and better at being able to do this. But those are 2 things I really think are sort of foundational in being able to elevate your business. Then we talk about the social medias and the paid medias, and those are filling your funnel. Those are going to be longer term sales, and that's going to be more of that awareness level. But if you want to convert, if you want to get people first, that foundational piece is your network and emails.
And the emails do you send to your network?
I send to my
Those
network.
people that who are not answering you on LinkedIn, you're like, hey,
Yes, exactly, 100%. Yep, because I have 2,000 first connections on LinkedIn and I only got 120 calls. So that's not a very good conversion, but a lot of people check LinkedIn.
it
So,
is. Yeah, it actually is a good conversion.
oh,
I
okay,
mean,
great. Thank you.
no,
That's actually okay.
5% conversion. Yeah, it's
Okay.
amazing.
Okay, amazing. All right. Thanks. Thanks. People like me. No. Yeah, so I think yeah, exactly. And following up through email and through story. I try to put an anecdotal story in my emails too to make it interesting. A good example
Awesome.
is Laura Belgray. She has a newsletter called Talking Shrimp, and she teaches people how to write really good emails with story. And she's very inspirational.
Cool. Thanks for sharing.
Hmm.
I have been dipping my toes into storytelling. I am not there yet. I am better at telling stories, but this excites me a lot because every little piece that I understand is a definite growth piece for me
Hmm.
because I will be able to tell a story to another person. This is amazing. And
Perfect.
to articulate my excitement, this is the difference between wasting money on ads and
Hmm.
having actual return on your ad spend.
Yes.
Storytelling piece. This is why it makes me excited. Not like, oh, people will listen to me. Yeah, that as well. But that is a potential life or death for a business.
Hmm.
The ability to not only express what your service is about, but also make it into a compelling piece of communication.
Hmm. 100%. I agree. And I think storytelling is the way that we connect with other humans. And that is something that AI cannot do. So, as much as people are like, oh, I'll have AI write my emails for me, I'll have AI create my funnel for me. AI can only go so far, and people are going to see that and they're going to unsubscribe. So, we have to be mindful of the things that we're writing and we're putting out. I think even AI crawlers now can tell if your blogs are written on your website by AI and it won't index them. It won't it won't rank them on SEO. So the more authentic and real human storytelling, even the SEO crawlers can tell if it's human versus AI.
Yeah,
So let's just
they could do it from the very beginning. We did an
Exactly.
experiment where we published 30 articles, ChatGPT without super tough prompt engineering, because we learned that thing after we tried the experiment. And yeah, I don't know if anyone looked at it, but I did need to have the experiment to see, hey, no, nobody cares.
No, no, absolutely. That's great.
One important thing that I want to highlight in what you're saying is that when you go and ask ChatGPT for a strategy, the things that you are sharing will not be in on the first page of the advice. First page would be filled to the brim with, yeah, you must do this and this and this. And somewhere on the second page of this list, there would be ask for referrals, send an
Mhm.
email.
Right.
The things that are actually difficult, that are not super scalable, but are human enough for it to work and give you the feedback that your business needs when you're starting out. So, yeah, this shows how much of our industry is obscured under the noise.
I totally agree. And as somebody who spent decades working in paid ads, where I mean, budgets that me and my team handled were like hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay. I mean, I worked on Microsoft Xbox and like, I mean, our budget was over 100 million. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was a very hefty budget just for Xbox. And ours was small in comparison to PlayStation. PlayStation had even bigger budgets than we did. So when we're trying to say, "Oh, let's go pump some paid dollars on TikTok," you have to remember that your ads, while are more targeted and more local, you are competing with people who are spending hundreds of millions of dollars on ads in these areas. So it's definitely not the first place to go. Don't go swim with the big fish until you're ready to go swim with the big fish. Like you have to make sure that all these foundational pieces are locked and ready to go. And then you can start dipping your toes in the water, making things super targeted, making them very, local if you need to. Whatever all those levers that we can pull in digital for your targeting, yes, those do exist. But if you don't have those foundational pieces, people are going to get to your website or get to, see you and they're going to be like, whoa, this isn't what I thought. So, yeah, I completely agree with you. It's these little things like referral networks and email that are like not quote unquote sexy, but that should be your first step.
And how do you, yeah, lead me through your interaction with a client in this very interesting piece when you help them build the foundational pieces around, and then you say, okay, now you can try. Well, for example, I saw that you first have something like a strategy
Mhm.
uh, meeting. Then you're saying, okay, come to us. We have a studio. We will make photos. We will make video content. Then you will try it on organic. And maybe if something of that performs, we will say, all right, you can spend a little bit of ads budget on that. I really liked this approach. Yeah, tell me about it.
Okay, so what I do is every client kind of goes through this specific step process. I usually have a fit call with somebody to see if we're a good fit for each other. I sort of explain the process. That takes about like 15 minutes. And if I'm not a good fit for you, I probably know somebody who could be. So it's nice to just have that little check-in. Then the real first step is what I call a workshop. So a revive your business workshop. In this workshop, I charge $800 for the workshop. You have to pay upfront to book my time, so making sure it's all, booked and secure. I spend between an hour and 2 hours with you. I ask a series of questions about not only your product, but your business, your brand, your vision. I ask a series of questions. One of my questions even is like, if your brand was a location and you were to walk into it, describe that to me. Like, what is a place, like your favorite place that you've ever been to? And it's a really great way to like get into people's heads and really understand what it is that they love, what they like, what they desire, what they want their brand to emulate and feel like and look like. So we get deep, deep, deep into their brand during this 2-hour workshop. After the workshop, I deliver to them a roadmap. And in the roadmap, I talk about where they've been, where they want to go, and how to get there. And in the roadmap, it includes a brief, a strategy, and a proposal, which is if I were to execute it for you, this is how much it would cost, um, and timing and all that kind of stuff is in there. But really, what the meaty part is the brief and the strategy. So I'm really being clear with them, saying, here's what your brand should look like. Here's what it should sound like. Here's kind of some direction for you. You can take that brief, $800, and you can go hire people on Fiverr or go ask ChatGPT to do it for you. I feel like I've given you a good, robust piece of information. Or you can hire me, and here's my proposal. The $800 then is applied to the proposal. And again, all my pricing's on my website. So I try to be super crystal clear about what my packages cost. And then we go to work. And so an example is, as you were talking about, if it's a personal brand, I'm a big believer in lifestyle photo shoots. I think that showing people's faces on your website is going to be what
Yeah.
connects with your audience better. Stock photography is so last year. People know it's a AI generated photo or it's stock photography. People don't want to see that. They want to see you. They want to see your face. And so I do photo shoots with clients. I've done one with a client in Dallas. I did one in Denver. I've done one in Phoenix. And I want to get like who they are, what they're about, their essence to come through on their websites. And so through that photo shoot, we are able to capture content, yes, for their website, but then, yes, also for their social. So through that process, we can then intake all of that, be able to produce a solid website, be able to produce social content. And then, if and when they're ready and we feel like things are working and we're getting good feedback, then, yes, I agree with you. Then we pump out those ads and we drive people to that beautiful website.
Awesome. This is a great advice for people who are building agencies.
Mhm.
First, you're saying we will talk to people straight away.
Yes.
Very good advice. Talk
Yes.
to people. I don't know. I know. I tried. I know I tried getting clients before talking to them, and I don't think those are the clients that stick with us.
Agreed.
Yeah, talk to people straight away. Second, the next step needs to be paid.
Yes.
We don't want to do free work. We want to be aligned on the goals, on where we are going, and we want to provide a service
Hmm.
for a compensation. That's what we do. I really enjoyed your example with the what if your business was a physical location, because that is not easy to say, hey, what feeling does your business bring to people? How
Right.
the fuck do I know, right?
Right. Right. I don't
I,
know.
I
Yeah. Exactly.
maybe
Exactly.
if I sell bagels, I'm saying, hey, yeah, we are warm and sweet, and children
Right.
like us. But
Right.
if I am a plumbing company, what feeling do I have? The feeling of a working toilet?
Right.
Great.
Great. Great. Exactly. And even then, those could be various different levels of what the client wants it to be. I mean, it could be, do you want to be value, right? Do you want to be this area of like ease and value? Do you want to be luxury? Do you want to be that? Like, there's so many ways that you can take brand. You can't answer this for them. And I would say that this also comes from years of being in corporate, also, where clients didn't have to get on the calls with us either and answer our questions. And you're like, wait, but I'm handling a lot of money for you. How about we get on a call and I can ask you some questions? And they're just kind of like, nah, you're supposed to know what I'm talking about. And it's like, okay, then I'll make up something that I think, but I can't answer this stuff for you. So it's a really great kind of stake in the ground. It's like, you're going to get on this call with me And if you can't get on this call with me, and I'll even cut it down to an hour if I have to, but if you can't dedicate this time to me, I can't help you. And that's a really great position to be in because it does build trust with the clients. And the other one is no free proposals. I will work for hours on a proposal for you and then I'll never hear back from you. That's hours of the day that I just quote unquote wasted to give you a free proposal. Like free proposals are again so 3 years ago. Like no more free proposals. I will give you a proposal, but I'll also give you a brief and a strategy included with that.
Cool. All right. We have gone through quite a successful first few stages. We
Mhm.
have a website, we know what we are selling. We talked to our connections. We reached out via email. We hopping on the call, talking to people, converting them to clients. In what moment in the setup of your business did you get the team?
Get the team, like hire people?
Yeah, yeah, hiring people. What
Um,
moment you needed the help, and yeah, how did you approach that?
when I need help, I definitely know I have to hire the help, but I don't have a staff. I don't have people full time. That amount of overhead and I guess worry on me as a business owner, like I'm not there yet, and I don't know if I ever will be. I really like the idea of being able to work with a network of contractors that we all work with each other. I also am super clear with them saying, "Hey, I need like 10 hours a week, I need 20 hours a week, I need 30 hours a week." A lot of the contractors I work with also are like, "I only want to work 30 hours a week because I have my other side hustle and I have these other things I want to do." So, I try to be mindful of the people in my network of what they're looking for and being able to build out a team in that structure. And it's been great. I have a nice network of people that we can help activate with each other and they work with other people and we just kind of all meld together. Yeah.
I think this is a brilliant strategy. I see that with consultants. I see this tendency. Even the super corporate style consultants that have a uh, team, they still work on different stuff. So a corporate project comes the way of a big agency. They look into their raster of people saying, hey, we need a team of this person, and this person. They get talking, they get them in the room saying, hey, here's the client, here's the three professionals that you really need now, and they go to work. And this is also a strategically sane thing, because you don't ask this client to pay for maintaining your army of consultants
Hmm.
for every project. You're saying, yeah,
Exactly.
you need these three people, them have time, go for it.
I agree, and I think the other piece that I try to do with clients is when I was saying about this, doing their website, workshopping their photo shoot. I call it like the brand elevation method. And so within this brand elevation method, we're elevating their brand, we're getting them locked, we're getting them loaded, and then when it's time to go into management, I also talk to my clients about doing it in 3 month sprints. So if I'm going to manage your social media, I want to do it for 3 months and then let's reevaluate. Let's run your paid ads and let's do it for 3 months and then let's reevaluate. Maybe you don't want to run social media after 3 months. Maybe you have a specific campaign and you just need a 3 month sprint. Great, I'm your person for that. It's also two sides of that. One is I don't want to lock you into a 12-month contract and you feel obligated or strapped or stressed. And I also don't want to be locked into a 12-month contract where I don't really like working with you. So 3 months is a nice amount of time where we both see how working together goes. Also, it gives us just enough information and data to be able to optimize and give us feedback. And after about 3 months, we need to reevaluate anyway. And that's for paid media and organic, because as you know, things change, things shift, or we see what isn't working and what is working. And then let's go produce more stuff after 3 months that's the stuff that's working, because now we have enough information that we can go change and we can go optimize. So 3 month sprints or 3-month management packages is how I also like to work with clients. And I think that's a great way to, again, both sides, they don't feel so locked in. They don't have to sign a 12-month agency contract with me. And I don't feel locked in either and feeling like, okay, this is what I know I can handle. And then let's reevaluate and rework the program.
Brilliant. Rhiannon, do you even understand how valuable your things that you are saying are for many, many businesses? Because you would not have a way to know it unless you had the experience on the marketing side and on sales side. Because what we are talking about right now is marketing, it is
Mhm.
performance marketing, but the terms and how you are telling the audience about it is about feelings.
Mhm.
And this is a very important piece for people who are building their businesses, consultants, to get to be comfortable with that, because
Yeah.
we need to talk about the feelings.
Mhm.
Feelings is why people buy the service. It's not the, hey, we will break TikTok or something. Nah, they want to, your customers, your clients want to get rid of some feelings,
Mhm.
feeling anxiety, feeling uncertainty, feeling pressed to grow, pushed, whatever, saying, hey, all the people around me have ads and they're growing super fast, and you know.
Mhm.
So, yeah, there is a consultant who will walk you through there. They're taking away the bad feeling and give you the nice feeling. This is what consultants do, right?
Yes, I love it. I love it. I totally agree. Yeah, I get so frustrated with this, like, break the internet and we're gonna be a TikTok sensation and we're gonna get you a gazillion views. That's not gonna perform. Just getting going, quote unquote, viral doesn't make you money. It makes you gives you 15 minutes of fame, but it's not gonna convert, right? Like, you want things that are high engaging. You want things that are bringing people back. You wanna give people value, but breaking the internet and quote unquote going viral costs a lot of money. You think those people are just like, yeah, sure, there's the occasional ones that actually did go viral, for a video or something, but usually going viral just means they pumped a lot of money into it.
Yeah, and sometimes going viral does not give the return.
No, exactly.
Hey, a lot of people, while on the lunch break, saw your story. Congrats!
Yeah,
Nobody, nobody buys from you anything,
no,
but yeah, you are in their phone. You
right.
have been there. Nice.
Yes.
Instagram got a lot of money from you.
Right. Instagram got a lot of money from you. Exactly.
Yeah.
I like that. Totally.
Yeah,
But yeah,
because in this economy, in the way we are serving the platforms that we are on, and then saying, hey, you're so effective, thanks.
thanks.
You earned us money.
Yes, exactly.
Here is
Um,
the number of likes you got.
exactly. But yeah, no, thank you for saying that about sharing this sort of insights and feelings of the business. I do agree with you. I don't think it's talked about very much. And I also don't think it's um, yeah, it's like a taboo to talk about money, or it's taboo to talk about feelings in the work environment. And it's like, no, if I don't get along with my clients or like my clients, then they're not going to like what I'm giving to them and how it's working for them. But if we both know, like, and respect each other, the sky's the limit and we can help each other do so many great things for each other's business. And so it is the law of reciprocity. Like, I give to you and you give back to me. And those kinds of things actually facilitate great working environments and lead to longer term relationships, long term contracts. And, and yeah, it's fruitful for both sides that way.
Would you say, and which the the communication platforms, one to many, that you are good at, which of those in the long term drive some actionable people to your way?
I mean, I guess for me personally, it's LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is the platform that gives me the most my audience and the people that I feel like I connect with and will bring in more clients are on LinkedIn. I like Instagram. It's my I'm one of those cusp millennial Gen Xers, so I love Instagram. I will be on TikTok because that's where the younger generation is, and I think even millennials like me are getting more and more on TikTok. But for me personally, the one to many, I'm a little intimidated by LinkedIn too, to be completely honest. I know my peers are on there and I know whatever I post better be good. So I'm very intimidated by it. Whereas TikTok or Instagram kind of goes more mass. I mean, I don't have a ton of followers. I have 1,500 followers on Instagram. I mean, it's a good, decent amount, but most of them are people who don't really know me, and it's okay. Like the bar's lower. I can be silly or funny or make random videos, and I don't know, it's a little less pressure. Whereas LinkedIn, I
Yeah.
feel like is very serious, and I have to it's a little bit more pressure for me personally. But I think it depends on the business. Every single business is going to be different. There is a lot to be said for X still these days, as I roll my eyes that it's called X versus Twitter, but there are a lot of people on there and a lot of businesses that make sense for them to be on Twitter. But if that's for me, I'm not really on Twitter. So it's not my thing, but that doesn't mean it's not right for my clients or where their audiences should be. It kind of depends on what the product is.
How would you say that? Because we started the conversation, you mentioned that you are talking a lot with service-based businesses, and then you're saying LinkedIn. But yeah, people like service-based businesses, are they really on LinkedIn too much? The marketing people, yeah, executives, sure, but service people, how did you manage to find service people on LinkedIn? This is my question.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think there's a certain like I don't think my landscaping client is on LinkedIn. I agree with you. I don't think my hypnotherapy coach is on LinkedIn, but my law firm clients are on LinkedIn. So
Hmm.
that it just depends, I think, on the niche that I'm going after. I do think that real estate agents should be more on LinkedIn. I think it's a big opportunity for them to connect with their audience on LinkedIn. You're going to find more investment type clients, more, um, what do you call it? Investment relocation clients. And so for me being on LinkedIn, I do think that there are real estate agents that are on LinkedIn. So I think that those types of clients, so law firms, real estate agents, things like that, I think are my clients that are on LinkedIn. But I agree with you, not all the clients are going to be on LinkedIn. But yeah, all my marketing friends are on
It's
LinkedIn.
a good hint about real estate agents, because many, and I've met one there's like awesome real estate professional. He taught me a lot about leadership, and where he is active is Facebook, and I'm like, I don't have super nice feelings about LinkedIn either, but I still use that platform, and I am counting the days when I can delete my Facebook profile. All
It's
right,
still a very
but
valid
but but
platform. It is.
but I'm
Facebook
I,
is
I am thinking about your this like fear or being cautious of LinkedIn.
mhm.
How do you think your performance would improve if you get the Instagram level content into LinkedIn? Well, I have difficulty to imagine that the people on LinkedIn like, oh no, this is not professional enough. Go back to Instagram with this kind of thing that
Oh,
is more personal,
yeah.
less like perceived stakes involved with producing this content, and the in your face value that we try to eject from our content on LinkedIn.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree with you. If I was my client, like if I was talking to my client about me, I would tell me just put it on LinkedIn. Like just do it, Rhiannon. Like this is what's best for your brand. It's my own thing as a my own hangups that I know my peers are on LinkedIn and I fear judgment. It's like we all have that sort of thing like, I don't want to put my face on social media. And it's like, but you are the face of your brand. So like you have to be on social media. And for me, it's a personal thing that I know I need to be on LinkedIn, and I know my content would do great on LinkedIn, and I need to just be authentic and me and show up consistently. And that's exactly what I would tell my clients. And I would tell myself that too. I know it intuitively. That being said, like real talk for me, LinkedIn is harder.
All right. What do you want to improve? What are you currently working on for your business?
I am working on my authority. So, making sure that I am consistently doing emails. I have a list of about 700 people right now. So, it's a pretty significant list. On my LinkedIn newsletters, I have about 300 subscribers. So, I have, a good chunk of people. I'm just not showing up consistently. So, my challenge for myself this summer is to show up consistently with a message that resonates, that's authentic to me, telling real stories, not being super salesy. Like, yes, there's a sales message in there, but telling an authentic story, showing up with consistency, things that I would tell my clients to do, doing it for myself. That's sort of my number one thing, and then secondarily is working on speaking more and talking more about this thing that I do that I love and getting my voice out there more, so showing up on podcasts, so it's great to be here today. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm hosting free workshops on Meetup, so you can find me in Entrepreneurship Meetup group in Southern California, and I host free workshops, and the next one I have coming up in August 8th, and it's a 3 steps to revitalize your brand or something like that is the name of it. But an hour-long workshop during my lunch hour to just practice, help people, and show up consistently. Yeah, so those are some ways that I'm personally working to expand my brand. Mhm.
Cool. And what are the things that you're working on in a personal life? So we know work life, we are all grinding to improve our audience reach, talk to more people, be more effective with our message. All right. What is it for you personally that you want to improve in your life?
So I try pretty much every day, if not a couple days a week, to write down my goals in the morning. And including in my goals, I also, this is my coach. She teaches us write down our goals, a why of our goal. It's 4 questions. So it's what are your goals? Why is that your goal? What is 3 things you did yesterday to get to your goal? And what are 3 things you're going to do today to get to your goal? So these 4 questions is a great way to start your day. I try to do it at least 3 days a week. I don't quite get to 5 days a week. And this helps, and it's personal and professional. So some personal goals of mine, for example, are to be present. I'm a big into like mindfulness and being present. So I have a son that's 3.5 years old, and I'm a mom, and I try to make sure that I'm mindfully present with him and not looking at my phone, not on my computer, not on my TV, right? Like actually focused on him and the amount of time that I spend with him every day. So I try to be mindfully present with him and how many hours during the day I'm doing that. And then to also be a good wife and to be a good friend and to be mindful and present with people is super important to me. And I think that that's one of my goals. We can just sort of tend to zone out. We can tend to look at our phones all the time, be super disconnected. And I think that that's what is the Eckhart Tolle talks a lot about being present and that's what brings us inner peace. And so finding our way to being present, because being present is a gift every day, is helps my mindset to be more calm and to be more focused. So that's my personal goal for every single day, and it's really hard. It's hard for us as humans, I think, to be so present and to be so in the moment. So that's my big personal goal.
That's actually a profound goal. I think we all can resonate with it. And this is the something that is difficult, but it is so worth it that everyone should some find time to look into that direction, you know?
Awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, awesome.
Alrighty. I think that we succeeded with making a blueprint and almost a guide on
Mhm.
how to build a successful marketing agency from you.
Amazing. I'm excited. I'm happy to help. It has been a real pleasure to talk with you today and get to know you and meet you. I love this.
Awesome. Yeah, maybe we should do more calls like this.
Fantastic. Definitely.
Alrighty. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your value.
Thank you
Ciao,
so
ciao.
much, Alex.